Hi there, I'm Matt Keene. Welcome to Creating a Future We Want, the Evaluative Evolution series. In the garden, again, the garden is wild enough. My brother, many years ago, 25, 27 years ago, was visiting me at about 8 or 9 degrees latitude on a beach. I had been living there for many months at this point, in a tent, sort of learning to surf. Um, learning, here's what I was doing. I was learning not to drown. That's what I was doing. And I had a tent and he came there and we shared the tent, and two-person, it probably said three-person, but I don't even know what that means. I don't know what three humans could. Anyways, two-person tent, two-adult tent, and could have been the first night. It, it was basically raining inside the tent. It was so humid. It smelled so bad. After a day of surfing and I guess the ocean, the shower, right? And I cruised out, stumbled out, midnight, 2 in the morning, stumbled out just to get some fresh air. My brother got up in the morning, found me like laid out on a log, asleep, and a line of leafcutter ants were like carrying their most recent victim, a tree, across my chest. And I'm fast asleep. You know, for me, at that time, that was like heaven. The wilderness has drawn me in the past. Its rawness, its wildness, the unpredictability of it, the uncertainty, the part of me that is it has been powerful. It has compelled me to go toward it, toward those situations of no humans, no technology, and I have done that, compelled to do that. Much less now, much less now, or in different ways, perhaps. The wilderness, I think, draws me in one way because of what I've heard referred to. I believe it was Annie Murphy that I first read about this in the book Soft Inspiration, or the book Extended Mind, about soft inspiration. That time in nature, for instance, might motivate or generate moments of creativity, reflection. Yeah, I find that to be true. I imagine you do as well. And that soft inspiration, that gentle prompting to vision, to create, to reflect on, so important, so powerful, something to be cultivated. I think I'm drawn towards nature for those things. There's also like all these same features of wilderness that that might result in that soft inspiration, the same features that draw me to wilderness for soft inspiration also draw me to wilderness for what I might call harsh inspiration. There's that same rawness, that same wildness, the same unpredictability, the same thing that is in me, that is of that compels me to be a part of it. That same thing, sometimes results in suffering. Some of the most horrific experiences of my life have been in that in that same environment, violence and harm and worry and humiliation and the being completely lost in many dimensions of the notion of lost. Pain, desperation. I found all of those same things in the wilderness as well. And so I might think of that as harsh inspiration. It doesn't happen that often. It's fairly rare. You can't plan for it. It's unpredictable when those times will come. Thank goodness they are rare. If you survive them, they are more frequent than if you don't. So the promptings, right? Soft or harsh inspiration. These inspirations, they can prompt, for me, I've found the convergence of thought about ideas, concepts, events, people, the convergence where I recognize across larger expanses of space or time the connectivity, the relationships between these things. You know, so that those inspirations can prompt that. They can also prompt like divergence. So the unpacking of some part of my life that I was so wound up in, so tied up in. It was all happening at once. So much was happening at once. There's no way to see all of it because you're in it. Harsh inspiration, soft inspiration might also inspire like this divergent thought, the unpacking, unraveling of something that previously had not been seen as anything but one solid morass, just a big mess of tangledness, which can be incredibly important as well. These are perhaps things that we are training for, you know, in the garden. By spending this time in nature, this time, you know, caring for these life forms, trying to understand more about these life forms, our relationship to them, and if we are coming to it with an open and learning oriented mindset, right? Trying to cultivate that, I'd say that, you know, what we're doing is preparing ourselves for those future events of soft inspiration, of harsh inspiration, hopefully, you know, not in the horrific way. So our time in the garden, preparing for harsh and soft inspiration, cultivating an open and learning oriented mindset in this context. I'm Matt Keene. Thanks for visiting Creating a Future We Want, the Evaluative Evolution series.